All right. Well, hello, everyone. We're here for our June Wild Ones Greater Cleveland chapter meeting. We're excited to have everyone on the line. And for those listening in, because I know a lot of people on vacations have started things along those lines. So I hope you guys also have a chance to listen into these recordings for the updates on the chapter. So let's dive right in. Give me 1 second. Share my screen here. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So I know a lot of people have been installing or adding to their new native gardens. Anybody putting anything exciting into their garden this year or this month?
So many things. I got some yarrow at Meadow City last weekend and some black-eyed Susans, which I don't know how it took me a year, but I finally have some black-eyed Susans now.
That's great. Great. Yeah, I picked up some wild ginger and one or two other things. So I'm excited to finally have time. Don't know if that'll happen this weekend, but that's a goal.
I'm adding a hoary mountain mint.
Ooh, you
Which-
being a brave person. Is that going in a barrel or are you actually going to let it run wild?
I was counseled on the difference between hairy mountain mint and hoary mountain mint. And the hoary is more of a clump former and not a runner.
Ooh, so that's what I should
so-
have planted in my garden and not the other stuff.
Yeah, mints have a general reputation as being aggressive and going everywhere. But there's a lot of detail among the various species that act and behave differently. And so I was at one of the pop-up sales that Natives in Harmony does, and looking at these plant selections, and I asked Gail, who knows this stuff in her sleep, and said, "Oh, well, what about these mountain mints?" And she just, that was enough. And then she goes on for 5 minutes describing, the qualities and the differences between this mint and that mint and all of that. And I said, like, okay, I'll take all you got of this.
No, that's
And
fantastic.
so-
Did they attract as much as the others?
I think so. So hoary mountain mint, well behaved. I'm gonna put that in a mixed bed. A new one I'm starting close to my deck in the backyard to be companions with Anise hyssop.
Okay.
So I think this is gonna be a real active bee magnet between those two. And to be that close, I'm just gonna have to keep my macro lens really close. It's just 2 steps out of my door to be able to document what comes to it.
Very cool. Well, you have to keep us updated. Diane, anything from you?
Well, I did buy a lot of plants again this year. I keep saying, okay, just grow things from seed. And I did do some of that, but yeah, I bought some, and then I got some gifts for like Mother's Day and stuff for my kids.
Oh,
So I got some trilliums and some of those got eaten by, I'm not sure what, chipmunks or something, or maybe some little moles or voles or whatever. I don't know the difference. Maybe you all do. But I think they'll be okay. I think I saved them, I think, enough. But that's one of my favorite little woodland plants. I only have about 10 feet of true woodland area, so I have it all filled with things like that.
maximize it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's move on. All right, we have a pretty tight agenda, but I think we'll be wrapping up a little bit early. So with that being said, we had 8/9 new members this past month. So really excited to have a bunch of new people join. Hopefully we will start joining either some of the meetings or upcoming classes that we have. So if you know anybody that's possibly interested, please don't hesitate to share our information, whether it's our social media pages or the direct link to how to join. Or if there's questions, don't hesitate to send us an email. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have. So we now have, I believe, as of when I checked earlier today, 64 members. So very excited. So with the more members, more volunteers, the more we can do with the chapter. So excited about what we might see us plan out for next year. If we survive if we survive this year.
Reactions. Oh, all right. Reactions.
Yes, I like that reaction. So we have a few changes coming up. So Stephanie, who has been with us since we restarted the chapter, she's wonderful. Unfortunately, she can't be on the phone right now. She'll probably be joining us a little bit later in the meeting. But she has been kind enough to act as membership chair since we restarted. She really was crucial to helping us reestablish chapter, both as membership chair, but also heading up the learning committee. You saw certain initiatives such as From the Ground Up. This is something that came from her experience, or in her case, lack of experience in native gardening, and come up with some of the topics and ideas, and working with individuals such as Ray and others that are part of that group to come up with those topics, and then partner to figure out who we can possibly bring in to cover those topics. And in so many other ways, she has helped contribute to the chapter. But unfortunately, she does need to step away. But for very exciting reasons. She is getting married in August, and right now, actually, she's with a wedding planner, finalizing some of those details, since she's going to Iceland for that. She wants to be able to participate more. So really appreciate all the help she has provided us over the last several months. Hopefully, love to still see her in the future. But ultimately, right now she lives in Columbus. But very excited for her and wish her the best of luck. So thank you again, Steph, for everything that you've done and accomplished with regards to the chapter. All right. So next are committee and board member openings. So currently we are looking still for a secretary position. This person is responsible for board and chapter meeting minutes, keeping track of key decisions, action items, helping maintain the chapter records, and sending out chapter updates, as well as a variety of other things in support of the chapter. So it's a really crucial position. Takes roughly estimated nine hours a month. So if you or somebody might be interested in this position, it is really important position for the chapter to have and keep on track of everything. In addition, we're looking for somebody to help us with social media, specifically with Facebook and Instagram. Even though I know we have LinkedIn, that's not quite as active as these other two. So if you enjoy posting, making creative posts, whether it's educational or just more event and other things related, please don't hesitate. Even a little bit of time and help with regards to this is very helpful to us. Also, as we have now so many members and so many other things that we need to keep up, we are looking for a communication/newsletter chair. As many of you know, we do have a monthly chapter newsletter that goes out. It is important that we keep that together to keep everyone in the loop, because not everyone uses social media. In addition to that, though, just helping us with general communications and keeping up with that, because we do have a lot of things coming in, whether it's requests from schools to, the Great Lakes Science Center. We have an opportunity coming up with that, and a variety of other things filtering in. Just somebody to help us keep on track of that. And as we continue to do events, maybe somebody to help pull together the communications for that. So very exciting there. And we are also looking for somebody to be our programming learning committee chair. This is somebody that'll help us organize our educational events, both in our monthly chapter meetings, as well as other educational sessions that we try to have almost every month. So if you're interested in that, or you know somebody is, please don't hesitate to send us an email. We'd love to have a chat with you about that. So yeah. So in case you guys have not seen the chapter update that went out earlier this month, or some of the conversations we started having towards the end of last month, we're going through the process of chartering our chapter. So currently we are considered a seedling chapter, but now that we have fulfilled most of our roles, key roles, and have a 12-month calendar of events, both ones that we've already accomplished as well as upcoming, we are getting ready to work with National to charter. So, but as a key part of that, we need to continue to keep certain key roles, such as that secretary position that I mentioned earlier. So, but we're very excited, and hopefully we finish this up in time for next month. And I would love to see us celebrate. So, very exciting about hitting this milestone role, or I should say this milestone in general. So, but for everyone on the line, since it's mostly officers, thank you guys so much for your help and contributing to getting us to this point as a chapter, because we're very, very excited. Next, for those that were not able to attend, we had our second From the Ground Up series session, and it was picking plants for your growing conditions. So Danielle Squire, our secretary that'll be stepping away, was kind enough, and it created this wonderful interactive session that was at Meadow City Nursery. So thank you to them for having us on location for this. But it was really great. She had a variety of locations, whether it's woodlands or like watershed areas and varieties, as well as even garden sections with either like sunny areas or shade areas. And she taught about like the different soils and what plants go where. So it was really nice and interactive because you got your set of plants, you got your pamphlet. She talked through a lot of it and got to interact with the board and place your plan. So it was really great session. So unfortunately, because it was in person, it wasn't able to be recorded. But for those that missed the very first class of It Starts With Soil, that is available on our YouTube channel. Next, so if you haven't, like I said, seen the updates, we have started to talk with schools. So I'm sure you guys saw Ray last month with Diane. Was at the Andrew J. Rickoff School. Well, since then, both Shelley Tennant and myself was interviewed by Dover Intermediate School in Westlake, and they're in a process of a 5-year project plan to create an outdoor classroom. And as a part of that, they're going to be doing a native garden, but as well as other items in this location that you see circled on this for an actual like outdoor living classroom. And it's really cool idea. They're just starting off with the school year. And so hopefully we'll be working with them in the future, but they had a lot of questions for us about what plants to possibly pick for their, their land, light, and soil conditions. And other things. So we just helped them kickstart them idea-wise, and like I said, looking forward to seeing us do more of these type of activities. So thank you for Diane for helping with that. Or sorry, that was Shelley. I apologize. Diane, you were the other for the other one. All right. So Medina County Park District. So unfortunately, Shelley's not able to be online, but with her help, Wild Ones Greater Cleveland is going to be partnering very closely with the Medina County Park District, and we already actually have some pamphlets available there. This really started up with their native plant sale that's going on throughout June and July, but I have been told that we'll be able to keep sort of a display up. The display is not fully up, but at least our pamphlets are there, things like that. And we're really looking forward to that closer partnership going forward with regards to Medina County Park District. And as a part of that, we'll also be a part of their Native Plant Festival in September. So very excited. All right. Since Steph is not on the line, we have a learning committee update. So on this Saturday, we have the third class of From the Ground Up. And in this one, it'll be identifying invasives workshop. And this will be with one of our members, Nick Fletcher, which I'm sure many of you know. He is going to introduce us to the most common invasive species of Northeast Ohio. But also be prepared to be hands-on. So, because you'll be actually helping remove the invasive plants from a no-mow site located at Doan Brook watershed. As you can see here, here's the information about parking, tire, bring some supplies and tools. They're going to put you to work. So there's a link out on Facebook as well as their information on Instagram. But if you need any further information, please don't hesitate to send us an email. It's a great cause, but it's also very educational to help you even in your own yards and local communities. So anybody on the line that's going to be joining that?
Not sure. It looks like on Facebook it's at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, okay. Yep, we have to see.
All right. Well, don't hesitate to share it with friends and family members that might be interested. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to attend, but boy, would I love to see how to take out some invasive honeysuckle. So, all right. In addition, with regards to the learning committee, so Stephanie is in the process of planning out some future classes and garden tours. So if you have an idea or know somebody, or even if it's your own, and willing to do a garden tour, please let us know. We're planning most of these for July and August. I believe we've already had a few volunteers, and I think the earliest one will be starting actually at the end of this month, and that is Ann Cicerella's garden tour and plant sale that is on Saturday, June 24th. So don't hesitate to join us for that. And we'll be talking about some of the ones that we already have scheduled here in a moment. So, other thing I want to mention, pitching wise, with regards to the learning committee, if you're interested in either helping contribute to these ideas that the team comes up with, or helping create the content, please don't hesitate to check out the learning committee's next meeting. And that is going to be on Tuesday, June 20th from 6 to 7 p.m. Ignore the information that was in the chapter update. We'll make sure an email goes back out so that way nobody accidentally shows up to the wrong meeting date and time, because we did realize that the other one was on Father's Day and was right after our Rotary Park planting. So just a little bit of a tight time frame in which to try to throw in a meeting on top of everything else going on that day. So that's why I got moved. So once again, if you're interested in joining that learning committee, please don't hesitate to show up or send us an email and we'll send you an invite link. Okay. All right. Next, the Northeast Ohio Native Habitat Corridor. Woo! So very excited about this. This was our pathway project. For those that are not familiar with this, this is an expanded idea of the native pathways. And this is because we cover such a large area within Northeast Ohio. We do recognize that there's a lot of established pathways, but there's also a lot of areas that don't have pathways or support. And this is trying to be a good neighbor to the existing pathways while trying to pull in everyone else, whether in helping them start their own pathways or just having a place to support and bring together. So I think you guys saw in our last meeting a very rough sketch of what that design would be. But Laura and Jack have been very hard at work with the rest of the team in starting to create a brochure and a website. So you see a sample of that. This is a very draft version, but very excited about the team's hard work, especially Laura and Jack. So Laura and Jack, thank you so much for pulling these types of things together. But in our chapter newsletter, there was some link information about providing feedback. So please don't hesitate to provide additional feedback. This is very rough idea of what we're thinking for these things. And our goal is to have a soft launch for Pollinator Week. Now, that doesn't mean it's perfect. This does not mean it's the final product. This is more just something to introduce to our chapter and work out the kinks before we go full blown to the rest of the community. But in the meantime, though, in preparation for Pollinator Week, we're hoping to have at least some literature to share in preparation for this event. So Laura, Jack, anything you want to add to that?
Nope, I don't think so. I think Julie had sent out to our coordinator team if they had any feedback on the website or the brochure, or have like photos or anything that they'd like to share with us, because a lot of that's placeholder right now. Jessica, thank you for your photos. But otherwise, we'll just keep updating this and making sure everyone sees it and can provide feedback.
Yeah, actually, Laura, just because not everyone might have seen that one email, and or there might be some potential new members that listen into this. And I know Ray has some fantastic photos, but he doesn't always attend. Perhaps you want to just also reiterate some of the asks and just to see if we get additional feedback or items that you need.
Yeah, so absolutely. Just to the Wild Ones email, if anyone wants to send some pictures of their gardens, the native plants, like maybe some close-ups, maybe some further away. If there's anybody who's done like a pollinator pathway, little chunk of land with a sign maybe. I know we're gonna have our own sign here, so maybe we don't want a sign in it, but just to show that it can be a little patch of grass taken away versus like maybe a full-blown garden. And then I think we're gonna have Julie take a picture of like some plugs so that you can see what it would look like when you buy this kit of plants. So we can probably fit 4 or 5 pictures. If anyone wants a picture of them working in the garden, that would also be nice to have a couple people in there. And then as far as the content, I think we're trying to pull from Wild Ones website or like Pollinator Pathway, I think it's .org. Just trying to find some reputable resources that we can pull some of the content so that we're not having to like recreate the wheel, and we're just providing sources to everything that we're leveraging, just to make it easy for people who might be brand new to this concept. Give them an idea of what it is, what are the benefits, and a little bit of information about our project.
Great. Well, thank you for that, Laura. So a lot of great things are coming out of this project and the team. So very excited. Please don't hesitate to join us at our next meeting. I believe there was a little bit of mistake. We do have a meeting towards the end of this month. I think it was the, 1 second, because I can't see it with the, oops, one bar. So it's going to be June 29th from 7 to 8 p.m. So I think it accidentally said July in the one email. It's going to be June for the next meeting. So like I said, very exciting. and can't wait to share with the rest of the chapter more information in our next update. So next, volunteers are needed. So we have a couple of information tables. I think we're fairly good. We could probably use maybe one more person for the Summit County Master Gardeners Tour of Gardens in Akron. We do have 2 volunteers currently, but it would be nice to just have that third person so people can more easily rotate out. But we do have 3 volunteers already for Ancestorellas. So please don't hesitate to come out to that native plant sale and garden tour. For the Summit County Master Gardeners, in that case, you do have to buy tickets. And that's going to a scholarship fund hosted by Master Gardeners. So check it out. It's really going to a great cause, and we're really excited to tour Ancestorellas garden. Next, we have the native garden installation that we've been all waiting for on Sunday, June 25th from 1 to 4 at Rotary Park in Amherst. So we'll get to that a little bit more detail in a moment. We'll let Ray have his moment. Those are, especially that native plant installation, we're looking for volunteers, but like I said, we'll talk about that in a moment. So social event. So one thing that we're still really looking for ideas. We really want to celebrate our chapter's growth and recent successes by meeting in person and have a larger social than maybe the ones we had in the last couple of months. And we're really looking to have at a location, park or somewhere else for the event, preferably in either Akron, Cleveland, or Medina locations. We already have a few things planned out for Lorain, which is why Lorain County, which is the only reason why it's not on this list. So if you think of something, know something, please don't hesitate to reach out. Send us an email at wildonesgreatercleveland.com. All right, so Ray, you ready? You ready to talk about Amherst Rotary Park?
All right, well, you may already know this story, but we're going to put in a pollinator garden here in Amherst at a Rotary Park, a park that was established as the plaque says there in 1990 by our local Amherst Rotary Club. And a number of trees were planted. This was on a site where several old houses had been demolished and removed as a part of hospital construction, but it was basically an eyesore for so many years. And then the Amherst Rotary said, well, we'll take over management of this site. We'll put in these wonderful things. So they've got electricity, so they can put Christmas lights up on a number of trees that are there. They have an annual garden, so wonderful full color all season display, in-ground irrigation, electricity. It's a wonderful facility. And among the various things they did was put in like these thousands of tulips. Well, this was 1990, there's no tulips left. So there's these extensive flower beds that stretch out that are unoccupied. So every year you go in and you clean out the weeds, and that's about it. And I see this opportunity and convince them to let us put a pollinator garden in there where the tulips once were, back 30 years ago. And so I now have and am nurturing about 500 plants, some of which have been purchased from native plant nurseries, some of which have been dug from my yard or donated from other sources. But my house is the staging area for this project. And so a week from Sunday, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, I've got people with pickup trucks queued up to come and transfer all of this material, plant material from here 3 blocks up the street to the Rotary Park pollinator garden. And a number of volunteers have stepped up and said they will come here and help us. And we're going to put in 500 pollinator native Ohio perennial plants. Hopefully we can get that done in one afternoon. We've invited some local political officials to come and show up just to acknowledge that this is another thing. And curiously, last week, Keith, my partner who volunteers at the Historical Society, found the news article of the original founding of this park back in 1990 that describes what happened, and the city awarded the Rotary Club a accolades and a recognition, an award for doing this community project. And so here we are doing an encore performance, so to speak, of this community project. So there's going to be a lot of people there. I hope enough people that can get the plants in the ground, and we'll have a pollinator garden started. Follow-up is going to include interpretive signage, continuing effort to make sure that it thrives. So this is not just a one and done project, but we will be continuing to manage that. And I'll be a big part of that, since it's just down the street from me, walking distance. I can just go and water and weed just like I do at home. But hopefully there'll be some support for that effort too. And within a short period of time, we'll have butterflies and bees and wonderful educational opportunities for the community to see what is there, and hopefully inspire more people to do similar efforts around town.
Well, Ray, thank you so much for coordinating this partnership between Rotary Club and Wild Ones, and doing all this and designing. And we can't wait to see the final design and result. It might still take a couple years to see, it fully grown in, but
It'll be a work in progress for some time. Yeah.
Yes. So please, we do have the event on our calendar. Please share this through, whether it's through social media, through friends and family, through email, and please register as well. So we're very excited about this project. Hopefully it's the first of many partnerships that we have with the Rotary clubs in the area. They have their own special initiative called Operation Pollinate. So I think it's really a great opportunity to kick start in Northeast Ohio, partnering with them in other like projects, because the more hands there are, the lighter the load. And I really think it's a great opportunity. So thank you so much. Please share.
This could set a precedent for Rotary Club throughout the state and beyond, to say, hey, we can do this in the middle of Amherst. What can you do? And there are other clubs that have taken up Operation Pollination. So Rotary really is championing this effort, but it's really up to each club to figure out what they want to do.
Great. Thank you, Ray. All right. So we have a lot of upcoming chapter events and activities. And though for those that participated, we just got done with a bunch. So this is that busy time. So here's a list of some of the things we have planned. There's still more in the works. So as I already mentioned, this Saturday we have the Identifying Invasive Species, which will be an in-person activity in Shaker Heights. And then the following week, we have 2 chapter events. 2 chapter events. We have the on the 24th, the plant sale and garden viewing and Cicerella's. And then on Sunday, you have June 25th, you have the Rotary Park Garden installation. And then we have our Northeast Ohio Habitat Corridor team meeting, which will be on Thursday, June 29th. And a new thing that's on our plate, so I don't know if Diane's ready to speak to this, but Moose-Still Store native plant garden tour. Diane, would you like to speak to that a little bit, or is it a little bit too early to discuss?
No, we can talk about it. This is a garden that I've helped out with. I volunteer with for about 3 seasons now. So it's just a few of us that work on it. And there's actually two different gardens. One, the Akron Garden Club put together, that's right behind the Moose-Still Store, which is an old store that was renovated by the Cascade Locks Association. That's right on the old canal. And so it has a little museum inside there. And then all around the outside of it, there's like a little house. There's all these really cool native plants. So it's in more of like a house like setting, and it's some of it's shady and some of it's sunny. So I think it would be really interesting for people to see a little bit more of a formal like setting for native plants. And then we'll go to the other garden that I work at that's kind of like across the street. It's on the towpath where, you know, people ride their bikes up and down in there. And it's more just like a perennial sun loving area. It's huge. It's on the side of a hill, and it has, I don't even know how many plants are in there. Hundreds of plants. And it's been there for several years. So it's both of them are pretty well established. So I think, you know, we could point out the different plants that are in there if people are interested in learning what they are. If in July, a lot of them will be blooming, so people can learn, you know, what's in there. And, you know, they can get a little tour of the Moose-Still Store too. If we did have it with some kind of from the ground up type session, we possibly could use, you know, the inside of the Moose-Still Store if it was a fairly small group, because it's open like from 10 to 4 or something like that on the weekends. So lots of possibilities for what we could do there. But anyway, that's the scoop right now.
Great, thank you, Diane. And has a date been established yet?
No, we have, Stephanie gave me 2 weekends in July, which it's fine for me and the other person that would kind of give the little tours. But I think Stephanie maybe was going to check on that from the ground up.
Okay.
Because
Great.
I'm not sure, she didn't actually really say that, but I assumed that's what she was checking to see if that person could potentially be part of the event.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll just go solo and show them the garden and let them go from there.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much for that, Diane, and thank you for volunteering to put that forth. So in addition to confirmed events, then we have the Medina County Park District Native Plant Sale. So our intention is to be there on July 8th. Please note that it's actually happening several days throughout both this month and next month. This is just one of those few tabling will be in person opportunities, assuming they don't sell out of plants again. And then next month, we also have our chapter meeting on Thursday, July 20th. New item to the list, Guy Denny Prairie Tour and Native Plant Sale. So Ray, would you like to take a quick moment to speak to that? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I've been to this event a number of times. I know a lot of people, Guy Denny and the group from Ohio Natural Areas and Preserves Association, which is the lead organization for this. Guy Denny is the president. He's got this 20-acre prairie. So Natural Areas and Preserves Association was formed to support the ODNR Natural Areas group back 10 years ago when funding almost stopped completely. And so this nonprofit was formed to support the nature preserves that the state has. And the people that are in the leadership of this are former directors of the Natural Areas and Preserves group of ODNR. So these are the people that used to lead the state effort that are now leading the volunteer nonprofit effort in their retirement. And to go to this hike, to go to this program and to hike around a prairie or a natural area with them, you're getting a chance to talk with and with some of the state's most knowledgeable people on these natural areas, with a focus on prairie, the native plants that are there, so it's just an extraordinary opportunity to be with such expertise in the field. So I recommend anyone who's interested in the nature, not just the plant ID, but with the ecology, how things are planted, how things are managed, how you might be able to create a little prairie of your own. This is a great opportunity to see it, and to see it in full glory at this time of year, when so many of the plants are at their peak of growth and flowering. It's just a real treat. And then Natives in Harmony will have plants there for sale. So it's access to the plants. And they've agreed to allow us to table there also. So we will have a table. I'll bring the supplies I have, and we'll figure out the rest of the details, but we will be able to talk to all comers that are interested in nature and native plants and prairies and all of this, and tell them who we are. And I think it'll be a great opportunity to recruit members as well. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
No, thank you, Ray, and thank you for that connection. So this is a really exciting opportunity to see, a prairie in its glory, especially such a large prairie. So definitely recommend checking it out. So to note that this location is between Cleveland and Columbus, a little bit closer to the Columbus side. So technically it is outside of Northeast Ohio, but it's still so close to us, and it is a fantastic prairie. We wanted to see and partner on this opportunity. So whether you're interested in just taking the tour itself, or helping us table with the event, either way, let us know, because who knows, maybe some people might be interested in carpooling as well. In addition to that, Ray told me this is a great photo opportunity. So this is a great chance to take photos, because guess what's right around the corner? Wild Ones annual photo contest. So they haven't announced the exact start date of it, and usually it's towards the end of summer. But this will be a great thing to input for that, or possibly some of our brochures that Laura's working on. So I believe one of the things Ray had mentioned to me personally, I believe from the actual tours to get one of these specialized guides, you want to show up at 10 or a little bit before 10 o'clock to be a part of one of those initial tour groups. But you don't necessarily have to take one of those tour groups. You can do like a self-guided tour of your own. But if you really want to be a part of one of those guided tours, I believe you need to be there before 10 a.m. to be a part of the split off that happens at that time. Ray, is there anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I want to be able to go and roam with my camera, because not only is there a very natural looking 20-acre prairie, Guy has several raised beds where he's cultivating specific kinds of plants that look more cultivated than naturalized. And those are the real photo ops where you're seeing individual plants in their prime. And, you know, it's just a fantastic opportunity to really see what these plants are all about. Because in a native prairie, you know, most of it is grasses. So it's not all that, you know, much eye candy. And then he's got this other thing that's all eye candy and no grasses.
No, that's great. And maybe that's something to take away from educational gardens and other things as we plant in the future to maybe do something like that. To show like a close to a perfect specimen for certain species. So yeah, no, great. So like I said, whether it's carpooling or you're willing to volunteer, you know, please let us know. And we'll go, we'll several of us will be there. So all right. Another item that's been confirmed is we'll be working with Oberlin Reserve to tour or we'll be doing a tour of the Oberlin Reserve with the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. So another great opportunity there, guys. That'll be on Saturday, August 12th at 10 a.m. And then, as I mentioned, Medina County Native Plant Festival will be on Saturday, September 2nd. Very excited about that. And then on September 23rd, we have the seed collection, dig it, and social event that'll be at Ray's house. And then we will have a follow-up at Guy Denny's Prairie for seed collection on Saturday, October 7th. And I want to note, this is a really great opportunity to collect seeds, whether it's for yourself or for the chapter, because our goal is sort of like from last year, you know, use these free seeds to pack it and have giveaways for the following year. And if everything goes well, maybe even in time for winter sowing and special events and or partnership with the seed bank, possibly to help them provide their libraries with some native seeds. So no promises on that part, but that's just examples of some of the things that we can do with the seeds that we collect and help, you know, distribute to the community. Stephanie, since you just joined, is there any events? I know you're in the process of planning some still. Is there anything to add to this list?
Oh gosh. Sorry, let me look at this list really quickly. I think this covered everything. I know that Diane, you and I are still working out some details for a tour later in the summer. And then I think I have a couple other folks I need to follow up with about getting some tours scheduled later this year. But no details yet. So to answer the question, no.
Fair enough. And if anybody who listens to this in our chapter or otherwise already has a well-established native garden and would love to invite people over, please don't hesitate to email us, and maybe we'll, you know, if we can fit it all in and work with your schedule, be happy to, you know, I think these types of opportunities are great and inspirational, whether it's to, you know, people just starting out or like what to maybe add or change to about their garden. So love to see those in action. So keep in mind, these are just what we have scheduled. There's more in the works, obviously, as you heard from Stephanie, and we work with other partners. But if you hear of whether it's a festival to, you know, native plant or otherwise, that might be a really great fit, or educational opportunities that we can partner, or something else that just comes to mind project-wise, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to have a conversation. And we want to do more, but at the same time, we want to make sure we start planning those activities out for the next couple of months. All right, so website and resources. So Julie and Jack have been very hard, still building out our resources tab. We already have our local and online native plant nurseries listed, as well as our upcoming plant sales. If there's anything that we missed, please don't hesitate to send us an email to make sure that's updated. We are also in the process of looking at individuals that help design and or install native landscapes and gardens. So if you haven't seen that email or that email, social media post, we're still in the process of gathering those names and site information. But if you know of something and you're not on social media, please don't hesitate to send us an email. We're in the process of compiling that list and adding that to our resources page. Jack, anything else you want to add with regards to our website?
Nope, just keep an eye out for more updates and yeah, put out notifications as things progress.
Okay. Jack, thank you for your help. And I know Julie's wasn't able to join today, so thank you both for your help with that. All right, so calls to action. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. If you're not on, if you're on social media, please be sure to make sure you're following or liking our Facebook or Instagram. We found a few individuals that didn't do one, and or if they don't like every so often, we follow up the the algorithms. So please be sure to look out because we do post on a regular basis. I'd say on average 7 to 10 posts a week. We have our YouTube channel, which we always make sure our monthly educational topics are covered on there, as well as anything else that we do through webinar items. If you have friends or individuals that you know that might be interested in hearing more about us, please send them the invite. We already mentioned the events. If you know of any events that we can participate in or should consider, please don't hesitate to reaching out. Oh, I forgot to mention this on here. We are now on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, follow us, share the word, especially as we're now starting to partner with some businesses. So we have our first business lunch and learn this upcoming Tuesday. We've done 2/3 school ones now. And we were just contacted by Oberlin College and for a special thing for the Great Lakes Science Center. So, please don't hesitate. Also, for anybody that's looking to build up their resume and or are volunteering with us, because we're now on LinkedIn, you have the ability to add us to your profile. So be sure to do that. And don't hesitate to, put how you're volunteering or contributing to the chapter, because that's all very important. Especially if your field is related specifically to this or on the administrative side too, it can be just as important. So, and if you're not already a member, please join us. Every bit helps, whether it's you're actually volunteering or as by becoming a member, those membership, help contribute towards chapter activities and or other national activities too, such as the Seeds for Laurel grant, things along those lines. So yeah, lets us do a lot. So I think that is it. So any other questions, concerns, anything else we forgot to share, people? Makes sense, as we're good. All right, so I see a few people post about potential locations. Please send an email or start a group chat and we'll start talking about that, because I would really like to have something firmed up for July, because that's the big goal, is to really try to have some sort of celebration ready, assuming everything goes really well. But it's time. I think it's been a couple months since we've had a social, and I think it'd be really good to, not just have to do something for a tabling event or education, just have fun, have some good food, hang out, socialize, and yeah, and then we'll have Raise in September. So very excited. All right, well, thank you guys again for all your help, and we'll talk next month. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.